All right, I'm gonna assume what Wendy always says. I assume they could hear us now. They could hear us. Um, so yeah, but we are on episode. What is it again, Bearded?
62.
62. All right, I'm doing great here. This is a fantastic introduction. But what's up, guys? It's your boy F6 at the rest of everybody here with Predcast crew. Wendy's not here with us right now. He's gonna be here in a little bit, but we have a lot of spicy topics to go over today, and I think you guys are going to be pretty proud of me today, but we'll see after that. But we got some introductions. We're going to go with, I'm going to do myself, and then Pinzo, Bearded, and then into Windu. Hopefully he's back. But yeah, like I said, I'm F6. I stream over on Twitch every once in a while, and I upload YouTube videos every 3 to 4 months. Just keep it spicy, you know? And I do some casting every now and again. Fang Booth this weekend for an EU tournament. Should be doing some casting over there, so check it out on Sunday. But other than that, that's me.
Copy that.
Yeah, I'm Pinzo.
Pinzo, 1 second.
Hold up.
Oh, we're good. We're good. You're good. I got audio.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Odo's just
sure
messing with us.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to get too far into it. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead, Pinzo. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Pinzo. I make some Pred content, like roughly daily. So I'm waiting for ranked on Saturday. So that's pretty much what's driving me through the week, honestly. I mean, you guys know how Pred queues get. That's literally just the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's all I'm waiting for. Other than that, yeah, you guys can catch me on Predcast at Pinzo on all my socials if you need to find me. But I'm mostly ready to see what F6 has to say tonight. You know, like that's really why I'm here.
I am also ready to see what F6 has to say tonight, because judging by the comment I seen in Discord, it's not going to be the normal F6 that we're used to, the calm, everything is great F6. So I'm excited as well. But for those of you who don't know me, I am the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder. Episode 62, excited to be here. I know Windu's not quite ready yet, so we are going to jump into the conversation. But for myself, you can see me streaming. I'm still, my schedule is completely up in the air with what's going on. My kids, a little life update for me. My kids are diabetic, for those you didn't know, type 1 diabetic, and Monday they went and got their pumps. All right, so Monday and Tuesday were crazy because daughter had practice, and Tuesday I was more focused on just getting the kids focused on the pumps. I had a slight stream at the end, but I was later than normal, and I need to mute this. I hear myself. It bothers me.
Yeah, that's the first thing I do every time.
Jeez almighty. I'm like, oh,
I just
sorry.
pop out the chat and pause the stream personally.
So anyways, yeah, so that's what's going on with my life. So that's happened. Kids are doing great, enjoying the pumps because it's a huge improvement to a diabetic life. But streams are very sporadic with me. I try to get them at least 2 a day, and what I was doing 4 a day. But as soon as softball season's over with, because my daughter made the All-Star team, as soon as that's over with, we'll be back to a normal schedule, and I will post to that when we get to that point. But I am excited to bring this episode to you because this episode we're going to be talking about the matchmaking that was changed in version 18 that we didn't get to talk about in our last episode, because last episode was a huge episode talking about the huge patch of 18 that came out, because there was a lot, but the 6 item spot changes, brawl mode, a bunch of stuff came out like that was just like crazy and fun, and I had a good time, and a new hero. So and then so we're gonna talk about matchmaking, but we're also going to talk about the balance patch that just happened, and we're going to kind of spectate a little bit of what we feel that rank's going to happen here coming up this weekend, and what who's all going to partake in that and who's not going to partake in that. So in the meantime, let me ask you guys, I know F6 you got your soapbox you're gonna be standing on here shortly, but before we get there, how has your guys' matchmaking been since 18 with that little soft reset that we had?
Yeah. For me personally, I think when it comes to matchmaking, I am still in like the side of it's more of the player base. Just like I think we all just have, not all, I shouldn't say all, but a majority of us, like it's very like weak mental. So like I think mine is pretty weak, but like people prove me wrong every day. We get into a game and it's like either get like a DC an AFK or somebody running it down, right? So like matchmaking can't account for those things, if that makes sense. So like that's where most of my struggles are. It's not necessarily like players playing bad or good nonetheless, or like if they belong in my group. Like every once in a while I'll get those, but I feel like those are outliers. But most of the time it's like it's not even the matchmaking, it's more of like the DCs, the AFKs, and like people just totally inting the game because they died once, or like I don't know, they lost a minion, siege minion or something. So that's my take on that part.
Okay, Benzo?
Yeah, I mean, similar for me. Like the matchmaking itself, for the first week or maybe 10 days after the patch, it was wonky. It was definitely like I had a couple games again, like off of Ometa City MMR ratings with people like 1,500 or more MMR below me, which like that was new. I'm not like 3,000 MMR, right? So when I say 1,500 below me, I'm not talking about a gold player. I'm talking about like a bronze player. And it's like that. I was like, oh, that's new. I'm not used to that. But then they had like that hot fix the week of the patch or the week after the patch that kind of updated that matchmaking as well. And that seemed to help quite a bit. So I think by now, I feel like my matchmaking isn't terrible. I mean, again, outside of what F6 was talking about, DCs, AFKs, sprinters, whatever, that kind of shit happens. So what can you do? But
sprinters,
I don't think it's bad.
That's just people running it down.
Someone's sprinting the game. Yeah, they're running it down. Okay. They're trying to get down as fast as possible, but normally not in a good way.
Got you. I was like, I've never heard that term before, but okay. All right, yeah. For myself, like, I actually had not weirdly enough, because it I don't know, because I was more in that bell curve, right? You guys were outside of the the bell curve, and you guys were kind of pushed into it. I was already in that bell curve, so my matchmaking actually got a little better in the few matches that I did play. But I noticed, like, I was when I get into a match, I'm like, oh, this actually is pretty even. Like, this is then you could even look at them at a city, and you could see that it was actually pretty even. So I felt the better side of it, with that change that they made. But I know, I don't know. I know there's a difference in the community. I don't know. I can't say that I'm the minority. I don't know if I'm the minority or the majority. If you guys are the minority, I don't know which one is that side of that. I would assume, percentage wise, you guys are the minority in that situation, but like I said, it's just good. I'm glad to see that they're taking swings during early access to make these changes and try to fix anything that can be an issue, whether it's just, again, people got too far out of that bell curve, so they're trying to get them pushed back in and reset to where they're supposed to be, or whether it might be some calculation with the matchmaking system that's just not working properly, and then they're able to kind of like, all right, let's squish this back up and see if this algorithm will fix itself. I'm glad they're making changes like that to test their system and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what happened on your end, that's a good thing, because I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted, right? I think it's more like the higher end is going to suffer more than like the lower end, right? They kind of just trying to make it more fun for like the majority of the player base, right? So I mean, if that's what's happening from your eyes, I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I like by now, right, where 3 weeks removed from when that soft reset was, by now, I don't think my matchmaking is any worse than it was before the patch.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, I don't know, going off of just memory, I can't really say if it's better, but it doesn't feel worse now that people have had a couple weeks to actually play some games and get spread out a little bit more,
You agree with that?
I agree with that.
Perfect. Mr. Wally, welcome.
What's
How
up?
we doing? All right.
Good.
Wally, how have your feelings of the matchmaking system, the change from 18, where we're talking about the 18, the bell curve, the soft reset that we had? How was it for you?
I mean, it was pretty bad at first, but I mean, it's leveled out. I wasn't playing a lot of games when it first dropped either, so not as many as I would have like wanted to play. So
Copy that.
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
All right. Has it gotten better over time?
Yeah, I definitely
All right.
see who I used to see instead
Okay.
of crazy people that
All
want
right.
to yell at me for no reason.
I mean, and I think that's right. Yeah, I did see some of those in your stream actually. I thought that was pretty
Bro,
funny.
it's okay.
So I thought that was pretty funny. But I think that's also what they said in the initial, like, talking about the soft reset before going into it. Like that's kind of what was the plan was. Like, it's going to do soft reset, and then people are going to give it. And once you give it time, people are going to go where they need to go. Right, it's gonna get back to whether you were on, let's say you were on, like, let's say the bronze side and you got pushed up into silver, right? You're playing, next thing you know, you're playing like tougher matches than you're used to playing. You're then going to then fall back down to where you deserve to be if you're a bronze player and you deserve to be in the bronze, right? And essentially, and then on the vice versa side for you guys are all going to go up to where you need to be, and then us guys in that bell curve, we're going to stick in that bell curve, and we're going to take advantage of the better matchmaking in that meantime. So,
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I
But,
forget that every
since-
time.
Wally just joined in. He's gonna change his name real quick, so he doesn't have his full government out there. He's gonna do his intro, and then we can get right back into the timeline and table of contents.
Oh, what's good, guys? It's Wally. Jay, y'all can find me at Wally JTV on YouTube and Twitch. I'm here just vibing out with you guys. So let's get into it. I don't want to derail anybody.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Talk it up, man. Okay, sorry. In the process of working. All right, so now 18, that's matchmaking. When Windu gets back, we will talk about his feelings on it, and where he fits. And we will go from there. But in the meantime, from 18, we had the hot fix like that. I think it was F6 talked about, and that kind of fixed things, or was it Pinzo? One of you said it. Sorry. And we had the hot fix that kind of fixed some things we had some issues with before, but the hot fix didn't really kind of explain what was being fixed, except for we got Sparrow back. Sparrow was taken away for a little bit. Nothing was said why she was taken away. Do you guys know? Because I never play as Sparrow, right? Do you know what was happening that she got taken away? It wasn't just because she was OP, right? There was a bug essentially, right? Am I wrong?
She was spawning based on brawl rules. She was spawning at level 3 with 1400 gold.
Dang.
So, like,
in regular standard mode, she was doing that?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like game breaking. I mean, like,
That's
she needed
definitely
to be
game
disabled.
breaking. Yeah, that's definitely game breaking. Yeah, so that's a bug. That isn't just that's not just hey,
If
statistically
they took her out because she was OP, they would have nerfed her when they put her back.
Yeah.
right. And that's essentially
Which
that's
they
good.
did.
I didn't see any changes in the hot fix report or whatever. It just said that she was being brought back. So okay. All right, so we got her back. And I know that was people were asking about her, what was going on with that. So we got her back. Now we understand what happened there. And then we had 18.3. 18.3 is our balance patch, right? Which, I mean, obviously there was a bunch of balancing, right, F6?
Balance. Yeah.
Air quotes balance.
Are we yin yang balance, or what are we balancing here?
It's more yang than anything. There's no yin involved. There's literally just a one-sided like gameplay going on.
Chat's like yin confirmed.
You confirmed.
You just said there's no yin. Okay, yin unconfirmed.
But yeah, before I get on that soapbox, I do want to
Okay.
say there were some good changes that I liked. And there was a graphic changes towards like the menu, and then like the end game screen and like
Oh
the
my
bounce.
god, those are fantastic. Holy
Right?
shit.
They look great. I mean, obviously they said they're still like finishing it up, but I think it looks fantastic. I think they
I will say-
upgraded a lot there.
There are two things missing from that end screen. Report player
Oops.
button and item builds shown at the end of the game. Those are the two things missing from that screen, in my opinion.
Yes,
I
But it looks so
definitely
good.
agree with both of those. I think having an item build, seeing item build is huge. Like that's just kind of have an idea, like, because like, there's times like you want, like, you're playing the game, you're just so into it, whatever. And I know as a top tier player, or even just if you want to be a great player, you should be checking builds as you play anyways. But then there's just times that like, man, you like, as an offlaner, you play offlane and then the ADC just goes off and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, and then when the time the game ends, you're like, what happened? I was doing great. And then you look and it's like, and then you're able to see, okay, well, hell, the Sparrow just went 23-4. What happened here? So then you're able to, then if you see the builds, you're able to like, hey, that's why they want this build. Okay, got it. I'll try that next time, and go from there. So yeah, I completely agree. And then the reporting, I don't know why we are not able to report after games still to this point.
I mean, you could technically go into the replay mode and report somebody, but I feel like that's a lot to like just try to report somebody.
In the world of people not wanting to click extra buttons, like they just want it to be there, like going into replay mode to do all of that is just like a no thank you. Like I don't go into replay mode just to watch replays. Like that's too much as it is for me. Like no thank you. We got our boy Ritter trying to join, but his audio is having an issue right now. So we'll see what happens with the audio. He might have to disconnect and reconnect. Zoom kind of has that issue. So as soon as he's able to get in, we'll definitely pick his brain about matchmaking and some other stuff as well.
And
No, we just need to unmute. Need you to unmute yourself, Ritter?
Bottom left, buddy. Bottom left, bud.
No, I was actually sitting in the mic itself. I didn't know it was set up for here. I'm so used to like doing in the group meetings, like when I did the VSC stuff.
You're good.
Separate.
All good. Ritter, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick. Let everybody know who you are and what's going on. We'll definitely get your opinion here in a second.
Ritterific, just a guy who played Paragon and got into Predecessor a little late into it, and kind of just caught into the curve, and just got here to learn and get involved with the community.
Look at this humble guy. Doesn't want to say that he won the last tournament. Jeez almighty.
The team won it. That's not the big one. We're on to the next step.
Who's that rapper on the next one?
Another one? Talk about
another
DJ
one.
Khaled?
Yeah, DJ. There we go. Yep. There we go. Perfect. All right, Ritter, real quick. What was your feelings with the 18 patch and the matchmaking? Did it hurt? Did it feel good? Did you enjoy it? Like, what was the matchmaking change, the soft reset? How did you feel with that?
It didn't feel like it had a massive impact per se. I just felt like every now and then I just got like a random one-off player who didn't need to be there, or two. Like, not as much like before. Like, I could have a match and it would be an array of things, but like in this one, it's been like usually every now and then we'll have like a whole bunch of people who seem to fit, and then that one person who like outlied. But that kind of like after a handful of games that phased out, and now it's pretty much where it needs to be. I think I see pretty much the same group of people every time I go in.
Okay, nice. And it's gotten better, right? It was kind of
it was the first couple of days. It was a little spaced out. There were some random people who just didn't fit. Like maybe they just had like a lot less matches played, and the internal system kind of put them there or something. But now, like after a good couple weeks, everybody's kind of leveled out where they need to be. I think I've seen pretty much the same general names, which is kind of how it was before. Perfect.
All right, and then as you were joining, we were talking about things that we enjoyed about this balance patch. The one that F6 brought up was the final game screen when like the level up, if you get the affinity level up, that change of the UI there. Any thoughts on that?
I think it looks good. I think it's great. I like how they did the like level up when you get your affinity. You actually level up, how they did that. It's like an interaction, kind of something similar you see like if you play League. Like when you do rank, you actually get like a full on. Every rank has a cool little scene to it. I love the ADCs are overpowered. You know how great it is to not have to struggle with a random ADC as a support main. You know how great that feels. I want you to know that. Like that's a great feeling.
Yeah, ADC is getting a nerf, or I guess everybody else kind of was ADC is getting a nerf, or was it everybody else kind of getting a buff? How would you guys explain that? Both?
Yeah, it was like a small step in both directions.
All right.
Yeah, they did. All they did.
Or was it a nerf, or was it a gold balance there, F6?
All they did was increase the gold for ADCs and tanks to get to the same level they were at before the patch. That's literally it. And technically, yes, we get more armor like on the tanks and like bruisers if we need to. But at the same time, they buff the mage crest to increase the DPS essentially because you're getting more attack speed and lifesteal and sustain. And then they also buffed Demolisher and gave it extra 2% penetration for some reason. That's kind of confusion. And then they like minor tweaked like some of the on-hit builds, which was already
Stormbreaker,
overpowered.
Sky Splitter, Kingsbane.
But it wasn't
all got nerfed.
they nerfed, right? Like they didn't really
a little.
it. All they did was like, we're gonna slide this a little bit to the left, and then, but if something's already way too far to the right, and you slide it slightly to the left, it doesn't really change anything. That's all I'm saying.
You know, I really wish they'd have just gave the armor to the tanks without adding the 100 cost to the items. Like, I think that it didn't make a massive impact. You can feel it, but like, I wish that it just gave like the stat value without increasing the cost of the item.
Well, the problem is with version 18, they already nerfed everybody. So like nobody really gets any armor when it comes to the tanks. Like they really suffer from like the actual growth itself. So even adding like the extra small armor helps a little bit, but at the same time, the time to kill was already dropped down so low in this patch that it's actually insane that somebody was like, yeah, this is okay. And then like the fact that they barely put anything on like the tank items, is kind of just ridiculous because I don't see why that's actually even allowed through like IT or through like an actual phase.
So you brought up time to kill, and that was a big thing. Like what, patch 15 or maybe even earlier than that. And I remember the time to kill was a big thing that they adjusted, right? It went actually over multiple patches. They made changes with it. So do you think they essentially, with how things are going with the 6-item patch, do you think they kind of reverted that time to kill? Do you think that, you know, what are your thoughts with that? Like, speak more on that time to kill there, F6.
Yeah, so they essentially, in my opinion, they went the total opposite direction of what they were trying to head to and like what the community was telling them, like, hey, increase time to kill. And then the 6 items came out, and then I was like, that time to kill is going way down just by reading the patch. And I was like, okay, let's play the patch. And then after that, you can see like people dying within like 2 to 3 shots by like mid game. Like you could literally play ADC in probably 4 roles out of the 5 and be totally okay. And I don't doubt it. I think I was watching like a bunch of streams just to watch and seeing like gameplay and stuff. And it's actually viable. And I can't say it's troll anymore because it's actually viable. It's how much damage they do. And then also mids just do damage. Gideon, for God's sakes, I don't know why they keep having that man up there like that, but my man hits you with 2 rocks and you're pretty much at 30%. Like I don't understand.
Well, speaking of Gideon, I know Gideon, because I've been playing a lot more Brawl mode than I have Standard mode, right? I know you guys have been playing a lot more Standard than Brawl, but I've been playing a lot more Brawl. And Gideon, before 18.3, has been a menace. Pretty much any of the AoE casters are the biggest menaces in Brawl mode. You know, you have your gadgets, your phase, your Gideons, you know, but Gideon's a pretty strong one because he's able to get up high and not, you know, you can't, unless if there's no stun to stun him out of it, or if he has Shoe Silver plus the what's the Spellbreaker, you know, like he's got double shield on pretty essentially, and you can't get him out of his ult. I feel like Gideon, not only does he need a nerf in Standard mode, but I feel like he didn't get enough of a nerf in Brawl mode either. I feel like he's very strong and like can just dominate in that mode. And I feel I did see that there was a Brawl mode balance difference. Like it wasn't, you know, and not everything's the exact same, but you can balance to Brawl mode as well. And I feel like there were some changes that needed to be done that just weren't done there either.
I mean, I don't think Gideon's ever been in a bad spot. I don't know if you guys could tell me when there's been a bad spot.
I don't think so either.
And that's already a problem, right? Like if you have heroes never in a bad spot, you can never find the good spot, right? In my opinion, at least.
I mean, it's just like Gideon, in my opinion, it's like, as long as tanks are bad, well, okay, as long as tanks aren't as good as they have been in the past, like Gideon will be good. Like burst damage, like if everyone's just playing damage, like playing a burst mage is just going to be the best thing to play. Like you don't need to play some sustained damage Argus to kill a tank, because like who the fuck's playing a tank, right? It doesn't matter. So your job is to one-shot the enemy carry, and Gideon does that really well, and he has the best mobility of any mid laner, right? So he's super safe and noob friendly and all of this stuff. So I don't know. I think he's one of the few outliers for me of this balance patch that did not get toned down hard enough.
You tell me that 20% wasn't massive? Is that what you're telling me, or whatever it was? The 20%
on an ult with 300% scaling? No, 20% does not quite matter.
261 scaling is still ridiculous for Rip. I don't understand.
That ult has like 800 base damage on top of it too. Like it's crazy. And then they took 20 damage off of his Q. It's like, yeah, okay.
Mages get a lot of power too compared to physical characters.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that 20% scaling is like 150 damage off of an ult that does 2,000. Like it's who cares, you know?
Like you're dying anyways. You could probably put it down to like a 200 and still just be insane, because the base damage is so high.
Yeah, and if you're not dying to the ultimate, you're dying with the rock that follows the ultimate.
Yeah, or the Sparrow,
or the entire team that's on top of you.
Just one-shotting you in the back because you're trying to take down a Gideon. So, I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with their balancing going into the 6th patch that it's actually criminal and insane.
I mean, like with how much they changed on items, like I don't expect the balance to be perfect, right? Especially like before this small balance patch. Like for the last 3 weeks, it's like I'll kind of give them the benefit of the doubt on they didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Even with a bunch of testing, there's only so much you can know on who's an outlier, so that kind of makes sense. But after this balance patch, like Grim, oh my god, bro, like please tune down that character. Holy shit, right? Like Grim and Gideon are really the two outliers for me in the patch. In the whole, like they just got, it feels like they got missed.
I mean, there's also Iggy, which is, I feel like there's not a lot of people that play him comfortably or like really care about him because they don't realize how powerful he is yet. But that man's also a menace, and so is Sparrow. I feel like they're kind of still up to par there as well, or like close
Iggy.
To
the thing
them.
about Iggy, the reason people don't complain about Iggy as much is because that character doesn't one-shot you when you take one step out of position, right? Like that's the difference in, again, I mean, comparing Gideon to Iggy, a burst mage to a sustained mage. Like he doesn't one-shot you. But like, yes, that character probably does too much damage right now.
Yeah. So, but like, I agree with you said. Like we talked about it before of like, yeah, like they didn't know what was gonna happen version 18. So like you give them the 3-week grace, right? But like we were talking about the fact that they only like slightly tuned everything, I guess in their eyes, was actually wild. I was figuring they would like drastically change something to like make sure they fine tune the patch, especially if they're trying to release ranked mode, because they released a balance patch and then rank mode comes out, but it's still essentially still the same complaints that we had when version 18. So
yeah, the argument of like the game isn't balanced well enough for ranked to come out, like that one doesn't sit with me, because it's like no matter what, when ranked comes out, like everyone's gonna play what's ever the strongest anyway. So like it doesn't, like even if they had nerfed Gideon to high hell, it'd be like, okay, now I play against Iggy Morigesh every game in ranked, and you'd still complain about that, right? Like no matter what, you'll complain about what's strongest. It's just like the ranked part is not what bugs me. It's just like I feel like some characters got missed in the balancing.
Well, not necessarily because rank was coming out. I guess I should say, like, knowing rank is coming out, you want the game to be as balanced as you possibly can get it. So I was expecting like a bigger change towards the complaints. If that
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree.
Wally, any thoughts?
I didn't really read too much of the patch. Playing it, it feels like it's in a better direction, but it like everybody's saying, it's only like a nudge in the right direction. But I mean, that's kind of what Ahmed has done since the dawn of time at this point, right?
Yeah, they haven't really. They've not been very knockout swingers. You know, they don't swing those so much as at all.
They actually, I mean, you can always change it back, right? I think that's like also the thought. But I feel like a lot of things have been strong since the start of the game. And
Gideon.
Gideon ADCs, honestly. We had a little bit where tanks got some time to shine, but that was also when ADCs were kind of busted.
I mean, I will say, like, on the opposite side, tank meta would probably be the least fun thing that you could actually have in this game, right? I mean, like tank meta sucks.
Tank meta is
But-
not fun.
Tank meta
But
not
having
fun.
tanks
Yeah.
be absolutely terrible
It's
is
worse than
also,
that.
I mean, it's one shot meta. It's it I don't know. It also feels kind of bad. I mean, that's I mean, and again, like literally what I just said is if tanks are too good, game's not fun. If tanks are too bad, game is not fun, right? Like I understand how hard it is to get a game into the balanced state where it is, where everything does feel fun, but I don't know, that's not my job. I'm just here to complain
mean-
about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, obviously we're here to complain, but I mean, I there is a way to fix it. Like, I mean, instead, I know they're saying like there's different phases of like putting out like patches and hotfix for like PC and console, right? So there's different timings for that. But I think they can easily do that by just doing hotfixes, right? They do hotfixes. What is it for the matchmaking and for like Sparrow and stuff like that? I mean, what is it to like do a hotfix to be like, okay, let's adjust what we think are like, or the communities complain about like the top two like heroes or like the two items that we think are busted, or like just 2 or 3 things slightly or within like one or 2 weeks before like the 3-week patches. And I feel like that will go a longer way. If you don't want to do bigger swings, might as well just throw in little hot fixes here and there to at least try and balance the game out in a quicker fashion, especially when you just revamp the game.
Does anyone know how hard it is to push a hotfix through to console? Like, don't they have to have that shit, figured out and sent in and double checked or whatever before they can push that out? Like, is that not really hard for them to do? I mean, I don't know, but
I
I
don't
remember
know
them saying
either.
it's longer.
I do know that some of our patches got pushed back because of console patches taking longer than a PC patch. So
like, is a hotfix just like, and again, hotfixes like taking Sparrow out of the game, stuff like that, right? Like, that's obviously necessary and they kind of have to, even if it's hard. But something
Right.
like Grimm's broken, can we nerf this character before the next 3 weeks? Is that feasible? Like, is the work put into that worth it for them? I mean, I don't know how hard it is. Like, I would love that, right? But is that something that's even like worth asking?
I don't think they've ever just balanced something in a hotfix.
They've removed characters from the game, right? But that's
Yeah,
all that
but-
I think they've done.
When they've removed characters, it was just because of like literally something was breaking the game.
Game-breaking bugs. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't just because, Grim being OP, there's not anything like that. I don't think they've ever done a hot fix, because, okay, Grim being OP, let's balance this, it's a tough one.
I mean,
Ritter?
I mean,
the level of OP that Grim is, though, like, can we talk, like, it is like playing as a support, like, or like, especially now, like, I've dabbled a lot more of like my off characters, like if I'm playing phase with a Grim, like, I am putting at 6 in WQ lane religiously every time my ult's on cooldown. Like, or even with Narbash moving around, like, it's the same way, like, it's just a constant WQ. Like,
That
Grim,
character is
I'm not sure if
getting
Grim
perma-banned,
is like, I don't know if Grim or Sparrow a couple weeks ago is worse. Like, they're both just like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, Grim is definitely more powerful than Sparrow in my mind, but Sparrow's not like far behind. Like, she's like maybe like one step because she takes a little bit longer to possibly get online. She has less CC and like escapability, right, in her kit, so it takes a little bit for her to really get to that phase. But like at the same time, it's still oppressive as hell. But yeah, it might be stricter. I know Infino says it's stricter and has a pass certification first, but I mean, it's hard to say, but it's their job, right? It's their job to make sure the game is welcoming and warming for people and wanting to keep playing, because in theory, if people don't like it, people will stop playing it. So if like you have to do certain things, and I think the reason why it's important for this certain segment of their timeline is because they totally revamped the game. So like they don't have to do this in the future, right? Because once they have a base set of like, this is like pretty much like somewhere in the middle, they're good to go, right? And these patches coming out like every 3 weeks is fine. But in the meantime, for the first couple of like maybe month or two, they should be throwing out fixes to try and balance the game, in my opinion.
Okay. Wally, we're getting reports in the chat that your mic is low. So I don't know if you're able to turn that up or speak a little more into it or something. There you go. That does sound better there. You're good. You're good. Yep, that's better. Flow Switch says in chat, wearing 230 physical armor and getting melted like hot butter isn't fun either. And I can attest to that. That's pretty much all I build when I play brawl mode, and I just build straight tank with a little bit of physical power. And I still feel like I'm just getting destroyed sometimes. I think recently, this last patch, I don't feel it as hard. It does feel better to be a tank now with the changes of having a little more health on there. But it's still, I agree with you, F6. The TTK is definitely up there. So I can agree with that. As per the console situation, Jolster says, I think EA helps hotfix process move faster, and I agree with that. I believe that's the whole reason why Fortnite was in early access for as long as it was, even though it was already a full-fledged game. It would just made it easier for them to make patches whenever they wanted to make patches. And then Afiano says, yes, console updates are stricter and have to pass certification first. So information we got from chat. So yeah,
I mean, like the armor thing, like just getting melted even if you're building full tank. I mean, it's just, to me, like the issue for me is that I don't know. I think items just do way too much damage in this game. Like I don't know if you guys are damage recap checkers when you die. But
yeah,
most of the time, if I check damage recap, I took more damage from items than I did from any other source when I die. It's not like a carry's auto attack hits me for 5,000 damage in 4 shots. No, like I hit recap and their autos hit me for 1,500 and their items hit me for 2,000, and I'm like, oh, that's why I died. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Like I don't know, it feels like
items are busted,
it feels like you're playing an item. It's the same thing I said when Megacosm was really, really strong, like 6 months ago, is you don't, like at the time, it was like, you don't play Gadget, you play Megacosm, and you just happen to do it with Gadget abilities, right? Like that's what it feels like right now. Like you're playing Sky Splitter Stormbreaker. It's just that Sparrow has the most attack speed. So like she uses it really well, right? Like that's what it feels like to me.
I agree, and they ramp up faster now, so you're getting those items on earlier and quicker. So you just feel like ADCs just are online. I think that's the big thing. Yeah,
so fast.
Like I don't mind dying to the ADC as a tank because it's my job to like go die and hope my team, like I provide enough like facilitation so my team could win after
when
I
it's
die,
their
right?
job to kill you, right? Like
exactly.
At some point you have to accept that if I'm a tank and I'm face tanking their carry, they will kill me.
Correct.
Right? Like,
and but if I'm in a 5v5 group fight and like it's an actual engagement based off of like a team play, but I can't even get my abilities off because I'm dying before I'm able to get it off, that is the problem. Dying and getting shredded by a carry is expected, right? That's why they're called a carry. By the time you hit Dutch Rod mid to late game phase, nobody's touching you except the other carry in like a 1v1, right? The only thing for me as a tank is I have to provide CC or some type of facilitation to be able to have my carry win that battle for us. But I'm not able to do that. It's just
agreed.
How do heroes, with that situation, with what you just said, F6, how do heroes like Greystone fit into this game since they don't really have that CC to help facilitate that? And you
build damage. You have to build damage.
Yeah.
You have to build damage on Greystone to even be relevant. And then like, yes, he doesn't have CC, but your job is to like, you can dive the back line, you can use the ignite to slow them, right? And kind of you have your ult there to stop the damage coming through for a little bit. But at that point, there's also a thing of like, you're vulnerable after you get out of that position. And if obviously you can't CC them, you could slow them, not like a hard CC, but at the same time, they're still just going to be able to just wail at you as soon as you're done because you just blew your entire kit. And that was that.
I think you bring up the main issue too is you can't stop the carry's damage because the tank is dead all the time. Like that's
Yes.
what makes the fight feel so bad. And I was gonna say earlier that I feel like Grim feels so bad because he has the longest cleanse in the game. Like
And they reduced his cooldown last.
it's longer. It's like he basically has a window where he can easily put out. You know, I mean, he still takes damage, but I mean, he's getting out 2 to 3 autos at least, doing 400 in auto, and it just feels bad when I should be stunning him normally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just gets Liberator and cleanses the other CC. So
Just free damage.
No, I mean, like that's the thing. Like off lane right now, I don't think I've had success in a game in off lane where I build tank. Like the only time that I'm playing off lane and I feel like I'm a useful character is when I'm building like almost full damage, right? Like maybe like I'd probably throw in Citadel, right? Because that item's broken. But like that's about it, you know? That other than that, it's like I have to build damage because it doesn't matter, right? Like if I build full tank, I die in 5 autos. If I build full damage, I have a chance to kill them, but I die in 4 autos, right? Like who cares, dog? The math is closer if I go damage.
Shouldn't you be able to have that choice though to go full tank? Even though like I know you said tank meta is not fun. But I mean, shouldn't you be able to have that choice? Like, hey, this is what I want. Like, I should, if I go full tank, I should be able to like, hey, I'm tank. Like, I'm not able to kill you, but you're gonna take a lot to kill me. But it's not. It's not like it's your. To me, the thought of going tank is like to make them use the resources on you, and then that way your team has resources to use against them. But they're not having to use resources because they're able to still melt through you.
Oh, they're using a resource. Right. It's 2 or 3 autos.
Yeah.
They are using a resource.
It's like here's the thing. For me personally, in a MOBA, pretty much at any stage of the game, in my opinion, a solo laner should win a 1v1 against a carry. Right? Like that's just it. Like the carry is not supposed to 1v1 like a bruiser. That just shouldn't happen. If you're full tank and you do 0 damage, maybe different story, right? But if you're a Grux late game, you should never ever get 1v1 by a carry. But like right now they do. And like that's the issue. A carry is supposed to need peel or good positioning, right? Barring extraneous circumstances where a carry makes some crazy freaking play to outplay the offlaner, like they should lose that. And right now I just feel like that's not true.
I mean, that's also like a great point, right? Like the fact that time to kill is so low and things can't do what they need to do, there's no actual like mechanical like skill level there, right? It's just whoever kills who first, right? It's like, okay, I got my damage off or my 2 autos off first, you're pretty much done here, right? Like it's now we have numbers advantage. Wait, your tank trying to go in now? Oh, too bad. And then you're just there. So I feel like there's no skill expression, especially with the low time to kill, and it just not have people play the game like in an actual strategic way or manner, in my opinion.
Well, it feels like whoever hits first wins.
Yeah.
Or
Player.
hear me out.
It's a carry.
Hold on.
Your thoughts here.
Okay.
Hold on.
Can we hear
Yes.
Can we
Hear me out.
I don't want this guy to talk.
I'm just talking about tank items. Hear me out.
Okay.
Or people that just fucking sucked at the game were getting away with murder because they were tanky before. And now they're a little less tanky. They walk up and they're like, I died. Well, no shit. You just 1v forward before we got there.
Or carries who only used to be able to hit 4 of their 10 shots now kill you in 4 of 10 shots instead of,
Hear me out.
That's a fair point.
But now to counter. Explain to me why more people aren't building items like Vanguard or why they're not building Frostguard. If they really, really have all these problems against carries, you still see a Fire Blossom dude running around be like, I don't get it. Use the effects yourselves.
Those items have HP on them. HP is too valuable in this game.
Well, I understand, but the passive itself, lowering that attack speed, lowering the crit damage, like little things like that.
Well,
yes, it does.
You have to get close to the carry to lower its attack speed.
Hey, man.
Before it probably is fully stacked.
Hey, man.
And
as
Vanguard is a garbage item.
Hey, man.
Okay, Vanguard on supports, I actually think it's a good item. On Narbash, I think it's good. Everbloom
Narbash is probably the only one.
Dude, Everbloom plus Vanguardian makes your carry unkillable. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, but you're talking
Like
about like
that-
one
that's
one
wild.
character that could use it, right? Like one
I
or
mean,
two
yeah,
characters.
shit, dude. Like only one character can
Yeah.
use a lot of items in the game, right? Like that's
Yeah, but like to stop your carry or to stop getting deleted by a carry, I'm not building Vanguard.
Oh no, yeah, that item's like I wouldn't build that on someone trying to do damage.
No.
So,
Well, I'm saying
but let's
is
be
this-
mindful too. There's general damage problems throughout. Because right now Zarus is running around this game like a fucking menace, just 2-3 shotting people. Also, bruh.
Okay, I will say I think that character's nerfs mostly worked. I still think he's strong. I don't think he's broken.
I think he's broken.
I think-
He's still very strong.
Zarus is his kit makes him broken. If that makes
It's
Just
sense.
the fact that he
broken,
has
it's
a
just
cage,
nice.
like
I
that's
know,
it.
He has,
that's
he
what I
has an
would say.
automatic blink stealer. Like that's what it is. Like,
Yes,
and then you
he
set up
has
the
his
cage.
cage and his early game poke. No matter what you do, it's on a like 4-second cooldown again without no cool like ability haste. So you're just able to poke for free, and you can't do anything about it because you're trying to attack him, and he has his passive to heal back up a little bit more of damage. So he wins that trade. Obviously, he has mana issues when it comes to it. But at the same time, it's really not that much. So I think his kit inherently makes him stronger than he needs or he seems, right?
I
So,
think
like-
he also uses like the really good items very well. Like Berserker's
Exactly.
Axe Envy, he uses both. He has 2 ways to proc those items, right? Like he uses them very well. So I think that's another thing that you can take into account. I don't think the character's like numbers are OP at the moment.
Yes.
Oh,
Would
his
say
kid
that.
is very skill expressive.
Before this patch, yeah, he did whatever he wanted. I agree with you. He was
Dude,
his
you could,
numbers were busted.
I queued someone for 1,000 damage last patch. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
That's
Last-
crazy.
Before mid patch 18.3, I agree with you 100%. His damage was literally out of this world, and they needed to do something, which they did. They nerfed him. They nerfed some of his items. And yeah, now he's in a better place. He's still strong. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's
he's
just because
again,
his
his
kit.
kit is strong.
Yeah. And I agree with what just to kind of throw my 2 cents as to before. What's up, by the way, guys? I'm Windu. How's it going? What's up, Ritter, Wally, F6, Pinzo, Bearded? What up, homies? So I really do think it's literally just items are a little bit wonky as far as like the values that they gave them. A little bit too much damage going in here and there, kind of like what Pinzo said earlier. It's not really that there's a Sparrow problem or Grim problem. It's just the fact that there's
Stormbreaker, Sky
Stormbreaker, Sky Splitter, like an on-hit problem that's going on, and they just have the best way to abuse it. Arguably, if people didn't miss so many shots on Twin Blast, they might be able to actually do that also. But if you miss one out of the 2 of Twin Blast, it's literally half of the effect. So it's not like one of those 2 random shots. You get what I'm saying? Like a Sparrow that misses 6 out of 4, but that one shot still landed, it's still the one shot for full value. As opposed to a Twin Blast landing one of his shots is half value. But anyway, yeah.
Well, still does his damage. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he still puts in work. A good player will still put in work for sure.
Oh,
He's
this
still
still busted
busted as
here
well.
is like
Number one
Sparrow isn't
abuser.
gonna miss because she's just gonna press R anyways, and she's not going to miss. That's the thing with Sparrow.
Fair.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right? We're all fair.
Like I watched Pinzo for hours earlier going to this TV thing, and like he could have beaten the Sparrow when he was playing like Wombat, for instance. It was just he clicked R. That's the only difference. That was the only thing he could do. Like that was it. He was hitting all of his shots. There's just no way to beat the character who can't miss for the most part. And it's,
Got
like,
stat
crazy.
check. My bad.
Well, I will say that is a kit difference right there. You know what I'm saying? Like if Sparrow hits R, it's like okay, like if she hits the ultimate, we're all kind of screwed. We just gotta wait, avoid the ultimate sort of deal. Like
There
if
was
you
one
see a
character,
Murdoch,
he fought him at the Prime Pit. I'm pretty sure he had a level and I think almost a full item on him, and still got blown to pieces. But he distracted him away from the team, which saved like his team overall. But it was still insane. Like it's
I mean,
I mean, it's just like again, it's items to me. Like next time, especially next time you're playing something like offlane or a tank at all, like in the jungle or a bruiser. Next time you die to a carry, just press R and check your damage recap and see how much you took from Kingsbane, Sky Splitter, and Stormbreaker. I mean, I had a death today. I was playing Sev. I had 5,000 HP and I had 180 physical armor or something like that. I died to a carry, checked my damage recap. Carry autos did like 1,600 to me. Stormbreaker, Sky Splitter, Kingsbane did like 2,000. I was like, all right, dog. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah,
God
throw
forbid they
10
put the
rounds on
launcher
there.
on there.
Yeah.
Demolisher does show up on the damage recap, but you only get to see like the 5 highest sources of damage. So, but no, demo is, I mean, it's just like in this game, you would think you're like, oh, well, to combat demo, I just don't want to build HP, but demo isn't even bonus HP. Demo is total HP. So it's like if I'm playing Sev, I'm going to max out demo based on my base stats against a carry's base stats, you know? Like,
Don't forget Sky Splitter HP proc too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like you get bonus damage based on total HP greater than, not bonus HP built. So it's like I can't even just build something like Vanguardian, Frostguard, Draconum, you know, to get 120 physical prots but no HP, so that I have a lot of prots, but I don't get bonus damaged by a carry with demo. But like that doesn't matter because my base health is so high that I still get bonus damaged by a carry with demo, right? Like, I don't know. Nothing you can do. There's nothing. Right. There's literally nothing you can do. I don't know what to tell you.
It feels bad.
I know Wally's feeling the pain so bad over there, and that's so lame. I know it's brutal, but I'm sorry.
I walk up, half health. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna throw these abilities and hope something happens. That's exactly what I say every time. So, hope for the best.
I remember getting 2 autos one time and just completely was like, I can't do anything. Like, goodbye. Like, I'm sorry, team. I don't know what to do to help you here.
Should have built full damage, man.
So
no, I was full. I was like, I literally had Earthshaker on Greystone, and still, bro, it was the most painful thing. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Please, I'm begging them to split demo into 2 items.
That would be.
They need to split a lot of their items into 2 items.
I think they should get rid of Sky Splitter and then put demo's second passive on Sky Splitter.
I just want another % magic pen item.
Castiga's broken though. That item is its own beast.
It is.
That's a whole different issue. I mean, it's magical demo now.
We haven't even started on the mages, I guess. Yeah.
The mages. They're just.
Who loves combustion Noxia? Me.
It is.
I do.
Like what? Why would they? Oh my. Never mind, man. Anyways, I just think whoever's doing the balancing needs to like reevaluate how they're going towards or what they're trying to push towards, because it's one thing to like,
They're just a carry main. It's all good.
True, that is true.
Yeah, the thing is that I know who balances the game and carries the one role they don't play.
Rip. That's probably why they don't.
That explains the last year and a half. To be real with you.
Well, for me, my question is like, I don't like whoever's balancing it, right? Especially if it's like one guy, like you can't really blame the one dude, you know?
Right.
Who's testing this that isn't like permanently complaining about this in testing?
Yeah, like I don't know who's in IT, but they're at fault too. Don't get me wrong. There's a 50-50 blame, okay? Because I don't know who the hell in IT was like, oh yeah, this seems pretty balanced. Yeah, let's just push this one out for version 18. This seems really good. Not one complaint.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I feel like if I was in IT, it would have taken me 2 games to tell you like how broken this shit was, you know?
It would take me 1 auto mid game to be like, yeah, this is probably busted.
800 damage auto, and you're like, oh yeah, okay.
The fact that I can play carry in my pub games.
Somebody's downloading the phone right now. 1-800 damage auto. What?
1-800 damage auto. But yeah, like the fact that I can see decent at carry, which is the worst role, and I can't aim, is actually your sign to be like, yeah, this is probably unbalanced.
That's when I know it's bad. Also, is when I'm like 18-2 on carry, and I'm like, yeah, okay, right.
Yeah, this is not how this is supposed to go. I know that for
it
a fact,
absolutely
and
isn't.
It's definitely busted.
That actually works too.
Were busted in IT, and they had to change it quick time before V18. Because I feel like a lot of tank items got hit. Like Stonewall, respectfully losing the stun, I can respect, but I feel like you just don't even feel things.
I mean, I'll be real with you. I think that stun in Stonewall was clutch as can be. Like that's what makes Stonewall, no?
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss it. I would love my steal.
I do feel like Stonewall. Again, I don't play. I'm not. Again, I admit right away, I'm the lower tier player here. I understand that, but I feel like Stonewall is pointless now. Like, and not having that stun, especially like being going up against a Kalari, like that was like your good counter to Kalari, and now you take that away. It's like now, okay, what's next here. I just feel like it. I don't build Stonewall. I will go look for other items now besides building Stonewall, which is in the recommended, because I read
again,
Stonewall and it doesn't look like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing.
Like, my question is, how did Stonewall get stats nerfed and a passive taken off of it, and demo didn't get touched? Right? Like that's my question. Is like, why, if you're gonna nerf the stats of Stonewall, right, going to 6 items, understandable. You don't want people running around able to buy 350 physical defense, right? That's probably not going to be fun. But they also took the stun off of it, which again, like, I mean, it's, I don't know if you played Smite, it's a worse version of Mantle of Discord, but like, it's still really, really valuable. Like, especially, I mean, even just, we were talking diving carries. If you're a Greystone on a carry and they get you to 40%, you get 2 autos because they get stunned, right? And like, that's a tide turner. That's a game changer.
Yep.
And it's like, you still probably die. There's a lot of times you still just die with Stonewall after the stun goes off, right?
Oh,
but it's
100%,
like,
yes.
You're able to, like I was saying before, you're able to facilitate because you got the early engagement and you kind of played a little bit aggressive there.
You get more purpose out of your life instead of just sacking it, so to speak. Like, hey, my life bar got melted, but I did the stun, which set up another play for my team or whatever. Now it's just your life got melted and oops.
But to be honest, even if they kept the passive of the stun, I still don't think you get close enough to the carriers at this point in this patch. So they could probably add the stun back, and you still don't get close enough. I'd
probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd get this. You might get it off sometimes.
Now you guys,
I don't know, man. If
there's
you get it off, are you actually going to be on the carry though? Like, are you going to be on them, or are they going to be?
I mean, you have to be playing like a rat. Like, that's the only way.
Yeah.
Now a bunch of solo laners here, right? Has anybody tried yet? Because I haven't. But like, going deep down the damage mitigation side, like Sapphire's Mantle, Double Tainted, Stonewall. See how that goes?
I went against that full MR team, and I built every single MR and health item possibly that you can with Unbroken Will to increase my magical armor when I got CC'd, and I still got 5 shot by a Grim. And I could not CC him. Why? They lowered his cooldown on his RMB, and he had Liberator. Please tell me, what the hell am I supposed to do building a tank? And that was just the Grim 1v3.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. The damage mitigation, just like to answer your question, Windu, no, I don't think that personally, I haven't found it to be viable to just build all the midi items. I don't think they're strong enough, right? They nerfed Tainted Bastion from, whatever I don't know what it was pre.
Yeah, like 5% damage mitigated to like 3 now or something like that.
3-6.
3-6, yeah.
So
it was 6-12 before.
It was 6-12.
Mm-hmm.
The very first one was 6-12. Then it was.
I think it got nerfed to 5-10, and now it's 3-6. Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's 6% mit. I guess you can go Absolution, which is like a really bad item. So at least on like most bruisers, it's not good. And then like, even if you have that, like I guess I don't know if there's a mitigation cap in the game. I don't think you could hit it if there was a mitigation cap in the game.
There's only like 3 mitigation. 3.
Well,
maybe if you put on
Absol's 20% middies, so like that plus Tainted would be 26. I don't know if there's a mitigation cap. But like,
and then Stonewall gives you
that. That's specifically physical.
mitigation.
I mean, you could build Giant's Ring, I guess, but
like the moment you want too. Giant's Ring is down to like 6% as well. So like, even if I've Tainted Bastion Giant's Ring, that's 12% mitigation. Like, I just don't think it's enough to matter, like, realistically. Like, I think you'd have, like, if you could have it permanently, then yeah, it probably would be worth it. But all of that mitigation is...
That's what
almost like click.
It gives me more like, I feel like I'm actually engaged in playing when I play it this way. Before it was so damn quiet, I feel like I wasn't even it had like a soft gel feel to it. Like, it felt weird, and I was like, man, am I even pressing the damn buttons?
Sorry, that just caught me off guard. All day I was like,
what
was it? Yeah.
What's going on here?
I was sending you into the Star Wars round, dude. You didn't know. It's like talking.
Oh, bro. But hey, real quick, just throw my 2 cents on the earlier conversation, the whole matchmaking thing.
I was just too. Let's go.
Spicy. I'll be real. Just pretty much following up on what all you said. It really was more of a, not that I had an issue with the matchmaking, but I kept on noticing, specifically because I pay attention to the chat in the corner. Like, hey, this is my first game in 6 months, and I'm like, lit. Let's go. Let's play. And then after the game, it's like, yeah, I can definitely tell he hasn't played in a while. Poor guy. Poor guy. Homie got bullied for 20 minutes nonstop, and they noticed he was the weak link, so they focused him, right? But yeah, I mean, I guess I've kind of seen it mellow out a little bit, so to speak. I'll be honest, like, my whole mind shift has officially changed from, if matchmaking on the casual side is bad, so be it. Like, ranked is about to start, even though it's in small increments and getting larger increments as the weekends come by and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, hey, if casual is rough, it's casual. So be it. That should be a little bit wider. But once we actually get into rank, then it's like, hey, let's say, for example, you're like, if you're a gold, you're not going to be able to queue with anybody below 1 rank or above 1 rank sort of deal. Like if they put rules like that, right?
I said they did something like that.
So that'll automatically mean that everybody there either should be there or got carried there, and they're, you get what I'm saying? They might drop here and there. But am I the only one that just, quite frankly, doesn't really care about the matchmaking? I think it's kind of dumb that they put matchmaking in Brawl. I'm gonna throw that one out there. That could have been a no matchmaking game mode and let people have fun, and I don't care.
I don't think you really put matchmaking in Brawl per se. It's kind of like a. I don't take it seriously enough for it. I mean, like, granted, there are going to be people out there because, like, if you played Smite, like, that's like most or player base playing it or whatever. Like, it's one of the most played modes. But it's like, I'm not sweating Brawl anytime I'm playing it. So, like, if you're sweating it, I apologize. Maybe I'm a bad guy for that. But
No, they be sweating. It's actually,
Nah, they be sweating.
I refuse.
It's-
I refuse. 100. Like, they're worse than in a standard game. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
I won't do it anymore. I know that sounds bad, but I cannot. Oh man.
There has to be some matchmaking in Brawl. Like,
Correct.
you cannot load into a Brawl game and have, you know, a guy who's on his 2nd game of Pred ever queued into my game, right? Like, that guy, he's not playing, he's AFK in base, he's trying to read items, doesn't know what his buttons do, right? Like, there has to be some level of, like, preferably pretty soft matchmaking.
But
right? Like,
they
you
can be
have that pretty
gatekeeping.
wide, but
There could be gatekeeping and just be like, hey, newer accounts play with new accounts. And then once they reach a certain level, they play with the rest of the population. But that doesn't mean there has to be actual matchmaking. You got what I'm saying? Like, based off skill?
Behind something like that, yeah.
Because, like,
Cool with it being loose matchmaking, I think that's actually fine. I think most casual games have some type of loose matchmaking system, but I think where the issue comes is I can't even necessarily say that, because I mean, if that's your mode that you play, you're gonna take it seriously. I mean, I can't be mad at that at the end of the day, right? I think it. So I mean, Brawl is Brawl. I don't know. I won't play it more so because people leave at a minute and it's like.
Yeah, bro, I'll be real with you. People
Like,
AFKing and wanting to forfeit in Brawl is wild.
Yeah,
that bothers me. I get annoyed by that. I rage on stream because of that happening. Like, get out of my game. If you can't play 10 to 15 minutes, get the hell out of here. I want nothing to do with you.
Not even 15, bro. It's like
Right.
12 at most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I give them the leniency there.
Like, just
Pindo,
run it.
you got a bounce, so go ahead and give us your outro. Let it go. Let us know where they can find you, what you got going on, and we'll continue this conversation without you, sadly. But we understand you got stuff going on.
Yeah, I apologize, I gotta leave, but I appreciate you guys for having me. If anything wild comes up, I'll probably be in the YouTube comments when the video goes up. So I'll check it out. I'll make sure F6 doesn't say anything too dumb, as he's one to do. But you guys can find me at Pinzo on all my socials, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, etc. If you need to get a hold of me, you can DM me on Twitter or Discord. But yeah, I gotta run, so I appreciate you guys having me. I'll be back next time. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had more, but I don't. So
All right, buddy.
I'm gonna run, guys. Have fun.
All right, later, buddy.
Peace.
All right.
All
So quickly on the brawl conversation, because that is what I mainly play. So on the brawl having MMR, I kind of like it because it just gives me something that I can I would get not necessarily sweat for, because I don't sweat. I play the game and I enjoy the game. I'm not sitting there only playing. Like, I literally could just sit there and play Grux nonstop and win all my matches, right? But I don't do that. I rotate all my heroes every game. I don't play back-to-back heroes. I'm rotating the heroes and just having fun. But it does give me something like, hey, like me and Ritter last night, I hit gold 3. I've never hit gold 3 in any game I've ever played. And I
didn't play bitter enough.
Yeah, right. So, but we were playing last night. I had a good time. Like, and that we were just chilling. Like, we weren't sweating by any means, but like, all right. And I ended up, we were there. Like, all right, hit it. We ended up dropping back down. I'm dropped down to gold 2 again, but it was whatever. I finally hit a rank I never hit before. If it wasn't for it having rank, I wouldn't have done that, because I don't know when I'm going to hit gold 3 in standard mode, and with rank mode coming around the corner, but it's only on the weekends, and it's only on a weekend, one day, and only for 8 hours, and it's a day that I'm busy all day. Like, I'm not able to play, so I won't be playing on this rank mode. So
worth mentioning for everybody, it is increasing. It might only start on the one day for a certain time, but it does say in the patch notes, as we go forward, they're going to increase the window and increase.
And there's no time frame when that says. That could be increasing monthly. It could be increasing to bi-monthly. It could be, it's going to increase, but there's nothing that says when that's going to happen. So we literally have the only information we have is it's one day for 8 hours. That's all we have.
Before we get on ranked, the only thing I wanted to mention, I did have a brain fart, was I think there's a problem with Brawl MMR if you start having 10-minute queues to find a match. And I've heard of that for some people.
Yeah,
there's no shot you should have a 10-minute queue.
That's
bro.
insane. Yeah.
Quit sweating and brawl so damn hard. I don't know what to say.
I don't play it.
No,
I'm saying that's what I heard, and I think that's insane. I think you queue that up to get a quick game, not to
No, I have to get my fingers working. Like get the movement now. Like.
That's literally longer than what the game could be. I know we sometimes joke about it, but literally longer than what the game could be.
Real quick, I just looked at the chat notes. Sorry, real quick. So I looked at the notes, patch notes. Thank you, Jesus. It says increasing the availability of rank mode over subsequent weekends. So we're just to assume that as the weekends progress, they're just going to keep opening it up over the weekend and maybe just expanding it a little bit more as it goes. They do say rapidly. I'm not gonna give the rapidly any credit, because that could be subjective, right? Rapidly for them might be like, we increased it by half an hour this week. What the fuck? Right? But
like my basic expectation would be probably one day for a couple weekends, and maybe they push it like a 2-day effect, maybe a Friday Saturday or Saturday Sunday. I don't know. But
see, what I read into this was first weekend 8 hours. Next weekend maybe they do the full day, so that way they get like slow down periods also data, right? Then maybe the weekend after they do Saturday and Sunday. Then the next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Now let's open up the whole week and see how it goes. So maybe they're just trying to ease into it that way. But even at that pace, it would still be like a month before we get like full 24/7. So just an idea.
Here's the issue I have with that. And hold on real quick. Before we're gonna talk about ranked. All right. So Wally, back to your brawl 10-minute queue issue. I don't know for sure, but not you personally, but you talk about the 10-minute queues and how long that's an issue, right? I don't know for sure, but I remember reading somewhere in the partner Discord, a partner was having this issue, and they brought it up, and I believe it's actually a bug that's happening that's causing that. I don't think it's actually like, hey, they got so high in the MMR that they can't find matches, because they're getting put into matches as well that are like things that's like, hey, I shouldn't be put in this match. So I think it's more of a bug, and they're trying to work on that. So I did see a dev reach out to that partner and try to see, try to get more information and understand that. So that's a potential situation with what's going on there. As per the ranked and we're gonna increase it, whatever word you use, that I don't know.
Rapidly, subsequently.
Yeah, subsequently.
Big
that
words.
Word. Yeah. Rapidly, I know what that one, but subsequently. Anyways, sure, we're using that word, subsequently. As a guy that only is able to play the game on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and recently I can't play on Tuesdays or Thursdays, but hey, again, I only play those days. That has nothing to do with Saturday, Sunday, or Friday. I am busy with those days that it has no effect on me. And
Okay.
you guys are talking. Hold on. You guys are talking about having it to where you can only play with people that are at your level, whatever level that may be. Like, so all my friends are gonna be able to play this game. They're all gonna be able to climb this rank and get to a spot that it's like, okay, well, hey, I haven't played ranked yet. It's now finally opened up on the weekdays. I can play. And you're all platinum or higher, and I'm still sitting here as the intro level, whatever the fuck that might be, bronze 3, I guess is what it is. And I'm fucked because I can't play with anybody because everybody else has been able to grind it.
We all still have 2 or 3 accounts.
Sucks.
Who's we?
Yeah, who's
Who
we?
has 3 accounts? Okay.
You guys need to grow
Right.
up, right?
All right, first of all, alt accounts, don't even get me started. Okay. All right. Second, don't worry, Bearded. I'm gonna be in bronze 2 by the time you get in there. You know, it's good.
Are we all starting bronze? Is that kind of implied?
Yeah,
I think
everybody
that's
starts
what it
trying
said.
to be
all starting
Bronze 3, I
to
believe
the
you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I get out of bronze the first day, I must be gaming because I already know what's gonna happen. I already know.
Listen, I'm avoiding it day one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bro, everybody is gonna be there day one. The whole bag is gonna be the same.
I don't want to walk in there with like guy playing like with with no thumbs, and then like I'm playing on the opposing team and I've got every grandmaster in the damn game. Like I just
will not be solo queuing. I promise you that. Like if I don't have at least one more competent person, I'm not. You're not catching. There's no shot.
Not a chance.
Because I've already seen my casual games, and if this is going to be 10 times worse because everybody's now put inside the same pool, there's no matchmaking to stop it. Yeah, nah. It's already chalked.
Bro, you're about to have every bronze gamer out there that was in your chat try to Q snipe you and be like, I fucking told you I was better. Like,
Bro, on God, that's what they did.
It's really gonna happen. It's really gonna happen. Dude. It's going to happen.
Silver Sammy
They
and
cannot
Barry
wait for that
Bronze
moment.
just running down my games, bro.
Oh man.
Listen, that's what you're talking about. We were talking about the matchmaking in the beginning. So like we queued in this match. I don't remember who all was with me. We were all like, it was like 2 masters, myself, and like another diamond player. And we get this gold 2 carry, okay? Like, and you're Walmart points. And he's like, don't worry, I'm the best carry you've ever seen. When I proceeds to go like 1-13.
he said that?
Yeah, he's like, I'm the best. I'm probably the
Bro.
best carry you guys see. And I look at his win rate, it's like a 40%. I'm like, oh man, this guy's really vibing, but like, it's just not it. But like, I watched his very first engagement. Like, he
I
tried
didn't
to
say
pick a
any
fight.
of that, but okay, keep going.
He goes to pick a fight. Mind you, in this game in particular, like he's going up against Jay, I think, and Snipes. So like, he proceeds to go up the lane before minions ever come, gets toasted, and then just goes, okay, and then cause. I was like, what you think, dude? Like,
And it's not like I get it. Like, if it wasn't for 8 hours, I'm more likely to start at bronze 3 with everybody, right? I think it's a horrible idea that they're starting bronze 3 everybody and not doing placement matches, because I think placement matches should be a thing, because that would even everything out more rapidly than just everybody starting at bronze 3. But yeah, like it's
I guess in that case, like how many placement matches would you like to see? And then like if you say you sweep them all, where would you
it should be 10, right? Like the average
I would
of
say
like
about
10
10,
matches, right? And then like for the most part, if you win,
If you win all 10, it puts you in plat.
right? Like, yeah, you
Honestly,
put you in
don't like
plat.
that. I think you should
mean-
just grind from the bottom. At least playing TFT. I know that this
I was about to say, you're gonna do TFT rules?
I've been
Grind from the
grinding
bottom?
in TFT.
Hey,
so like, I feel like
honestly-
there's just something about it where like you have to, you gotta get up there. It's just a
Bro,
grind
in
that you gotta do.
TFT, the moment you lose one match, it'll be like bronze 2. Like low key, bro.
So it's not the fact that you're starting off at bronze 3. That's fine. But with the placement matches, what it does is it increases the amount of MMR you lose in game for your first 10 games. And then once your 10 games are over, you have your base stat, and then you start to go with the normal increments. So the placement matches are supposed to, like, if you're winning 10 games, all 10 of your games, you're still technically in bronze 3, or like you're starting off at bronze 3, right? So you're still going to have the same like starting point as everybody else. It's just like if you win all 10 games, you deserve to be way the hell up there, right? You shouldn't be down here with like somebody that's like going like 2 out of 10 in their placement games, because one, that's already unfair. So this just allows for like a more rapid sequence. And then even if somebody that wins 10 games was just got a little bit too high, got lucky, they're going to come back down from that plot, right? And then the people that like maybe just got unlucky, then 2 and 10, they're going to climb up and it's going to even that place back down. But if everybody's starting bronze 3, you're just going to get one side of the community that's kind of way up, and then one side is kind of just going to stay down for the first little bit, especially if you're just sitting at 8 hours for like, or at once a day or twice a day.
I mean,
I would think
that is what.
I mean, I wonder. It depends how many points like you earn per match, right? Because even if you played 8 hours, say you won all your games, like how far will you really made it in one day?
It depends on if you actually get a win streak for your what is it, promotion match. And I think that's where that, I don't want to say like that's where placement matches kind of like get replaced, but essentially it's like you get to that point where it's like, hey, I can promote, but you're not able to, you know, find a way to win the game, or, you know, maybe you do have whatever Joe Smo, right? Sometimes that happens, right? You'll just, you know, lose a match. But I feel like the majority of the time, if you are able to, you know, put yourself in a position to win more games, you'll get through those promotion matches faster. You may also get to them faster, but I think that's where it'll start like separating. Like I can have 50 games, but if I am always at a 40% win rate and can't get past my promotion match, I'll never actually climb. I think
but I mean, you
to get the separation.
You're going to be playing for 8 hours. Let's just say you get like instant queue pops, right? It's about a 30 to 40 minute game. You're not getting that many games on that first weekend, right? There's not going to be that much separation for like 3-4 weeks if they keep the same pace, because you got to also remember, usually ranked is already fully released and people are playing at their own time zones or their own time frames, and you have more time to see that spread go on and on, right? There's going to be those grinders that can go all the way up, and the people that are like not playing as much going to slowly climb as well. But you don't have that. So I think placement matches will make it easier to spread that rank out at first. Yeah, sure, go with your 8-hour gameplay or whatever you want, but usually or typically you should be able to get roughly around your first 10 placements within, if you get lucky, the first day.
Yeah.
So that's what
spread.
That is what Paragon the Overprime did with their rank mode. They did placement matches, and the placement matches they did, you had to do solo queue. Once you got through your placement matches, then you were able to duo queue with people that were in your rank area, wherever that fell. But depending on how you did in your place matches, you fell into a certain rank, and then from there you could climb or fall by however you did in that situation. I do agree with F6. I think that would be the better way to do it. I think getting your place of matches just to kind of fill in those brackets of whoever is where, depending on how they do and how they play, would be a faster way to get people to the ranks that they need to be at to make ranked be more enjoyable for the masses. You know, because I agree with F6, in 8 hours you're not going to climb that fast that far, so you're going to consistently still play against some people that are around that bronze 3-ish level, you know, that silver time. You know, it's like when I'm playing as I'm a gold 1 almost, I'm pushing for gold 2 in standard mode. Like if I'm playing against, you know, platinums consistently in my bronze 3, 8 hours, it's not going to be fun or enjoyable for me to keep on having those matches, when I feel like, man, if I just had my placement matches, I get beat my bronze and silver guys and get myself up to that gold area and fill into my gold my gold spot, and then work my way out of that. I think that'd be a better situation than just sit there and just having to keep beating my head against these platinum diamond players all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it just works on all like both spectrums, like, right? Like the Masters players don't want to be like just having a bunch of like bronze people on their team, right, trying to carry that game, or like going against a bunch of bronze players because they can just steamroll them, right? That's like, yeah, I just think it's going to take a longer time for it to even out when you can just do placement matches and just do within those placement matches a huge increase in VP and just not worry about promotion matches until after the placement's done. I don't know. We'll see though. They could probably still change it. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think fingers crossed on that one as well. I think that'd be big.
But I mean, they need to nerf Grim and Sparrow first and all these damage stuff. I don't care about the rank that much.
You heard Pinza. It's just the items. It's not it's the items.
Well, they need to do something. Whatever they deem necessary, that's the best fit.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to get hit 4 times and die by a carry. Be superb.
Yeah, because only one ban probably in ranked, and you have a lot of people to worry about like that.
I did find that interesting, just the whole one ban. Even though we've kind of seen in the competitive community how 2 bans can easily be done and managed. I wonder what the choice behind
because
that.
they don't have all the heroes. Not everybody's gonna have all the heroes. I think that's the major factor into it.
True.
Because most in the comp league, everybody has the heroes. There's nobody that doesn't have heroes when they're playing comp.
It's true.
Well, I mean, but you got a 20 hero requirement before you can even enter ranked. So what? You know, like, okay, 4 heroes got banned throughout, 2 on each team. You should still have 16 heroes that you can pick from.
Well, no.
You could ban out an
Well, right
entire
now,
still-
like I think if you look at the free rotation, I think the carry pool is pretty small. So you gotta think like if you're fresh.
Well, free rotation doesn't count.
Yeah, free rotation doesn't count. So I'm saying, so like if say they pick the only heroes you got, then you're stuck over there with no carry playing carry.
Right. So you gotta also think about the 9 other heroes that if they pick last, that they can't pick as well. So that's 9 heroes off the list.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not just 16. It's 16 minus 9. Which gives you what, 5? No, 7. Sorry. 7 heroes that you have to pick from, and that depends on what role you are, where those 7 heroes fall.
Well, let's be honest. In this specific scenario, going from 7 available heroes to 9 available heroes isn't really going to change their world that much. 2 extra bans isn't the difference
2 on
maker.
each side. So if you do 2 on each side, now they go from 7 to what is it?
To 9.
I can't do math either.
Yeah, to 9, because that's what I'm saying. So
No. I did this. I already did the 16, which is you already subtracting the heroes. That's the 7.
Yeah,
right?
and then after that, if you do 2 bans, you only get 5.
16.
And if
You have the 20. You're doing the 2 bans. That's bring it down to 16, right? That's what you already did. But you also have to subtract the 9 because depending where you land on that placement, if you're the last person, so 16 minus 9 gives you the 7. So 7 heroes again, depending where those 7 heroes land.
Let's just reel it in real quick. So you're doing the math if each team had 2 bans, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, if each team only had 1 ban, the way they're planning on doing it, that's a total of 2 characters. An extra 2 characters of availability is not going to make or break the average gamer.
It's better than
I
better
think
than
it
not.
makes or breaks the average gamer more than it does in a comp setting.
I would much rather have 2 extra choices than not have 2 extra choices.
Because that might be the one other carry that you have after they ban 2 carries and they already picked another carry. And you're like, well, this is the only carry I have left. Good thing I have it open.
It looks like you're about to have a howitzer carry. Don't go into ranked if you're not. If you don't have at least like 3 or 4 in each role, right? Like that's the way it works.
That would be the goal, right? Like if you have 20 of them, you should, like in theory, have enough.
You should have 4 per role. But if that one person comes in, and I mean, let's be honest, the average person probably won't have 4 per role. I'll use Ritter as an example, support main. He's like somebody like I'm gonna use you as an example. Hold on. So everybody like a support main might have every single support unlocked. Then they might throw in like a Bellica or a Faye, you get what I'm saying? Characters that can also be used as support here and there. They might throw like Zara support, Quang support. You know how some people get spicy with it, right? But at the end of the day, if they want to play support, they're gonna have plenty of heroes. You get what I'm saying? Like what?
They don't get their main role, and now you're in a spot where you barely know the heroes that are on there.
Besides mid lane, if
everything that you would have,
but then they just did it to themselves. A one-trick pony in ranked is going to suffer regardless.
Yeah, that's
no, I mean, you're right.
If you're a complete one trick, especially if you're like a complete you only main 1 character, you probably should be dabbling in ranked at all. No offense, like that's just my personal opinion.
Otto in chat did bring up a great point. Role swap would be clutch. Like if you're in there, like, hey, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Don't throw me in the mid lane. I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. Don't throw me in the mid lane. Somebody else take this from me. Swap the role, but then again, it doesn't even matter. You could just tell each other at this point, right?
Yeah, you could role swap. You just can't swap the jungle right now.
Right.
That's the only thing, right? So I think that's a thing in there. But to be honest, it's not just like one tricks because no matter what we want, and like we know what the thing you should be going into the rank mindset with, everybody's gonna be like, I'm the number one player. Let's start with ranked. Even the person with the first just hitting 30, they're gonna be like, play this game enough. I'm good to go.
I bought my 20 characters.
Yeah, like they're just gonna be good. And then they have to plan for that. So I understand why they're only doing one ban. Obviously, hopefully by the next hero release, they'll go up to 2 bans, because I think that would be enough to get the 2 bans warranted, or if they see enough data that.
How many heroes do we have in the game?
You're asking the wrong person, brother.
The way you just said that sentence. Hopefully by the next one it'll be enough. That makes me think you know the number, bro.
No, because I'm looking at like from a PCC angle, right? Like we're like I have.
They got like we're about like
36.
36, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 36.
That's good. That's
So I just
plenty.
know we're getting close to be able to do more bans in the future.
Yep.
That's all.
36 heroes, 5 Paragon heroes left that are not in the game yet.
Do we know they haven't released any roadmap or anything? Like, are they going to plan on releasing original before those other 5? Or I mean, know anything about that?
They have. Well, who was the hero before Aurora?
Grim.
Grim.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
then-
they have an
And
original.
then
next.
our short guy.
Yeah, we got another original and then the new one. That
Well,
should
we
be
have
good.
one more Paragon and then another.
Because it was 4 Paragon per original, at least for the original schedule, right?
I thought it was 3.
There's 3. It's 3
3.
Paragon,
4.
and then
4. You had Kira, then you had FaZe, Morgash, Greystone, Twin Blast. Then you had Xeris, and then you had
We
Sarah,
got
Wraith,
TB as like
Iggy,
a throw
Quang. Yeah,
yeah.
who?
So no, the plan is 3, but we got TB on accident because they weren't ready
Yeah.
to release.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, or Kira or whatever.
So then what happened with Sereth, Wraith, Iggy, and Twang? In between Xeris and our short dude, but I can't think of his name right now.
Argus.
Argus.
Wait,
Would you-
say that list again, Bearded.
Which one?
The last one you just said.
All right, you had Sereth, Wraith, Iggy, Quang.
Oh yeah, that's 4, and then Argus, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And
At
then
one
we had
point, they
Grim,
switched
Aurora.
from 3-1 and then went to 4 original heroes per one. Sorry,
I don't
4
remember.
Paragon to 1 original.
They might have just Houdini'd us or something.
Yeah, I mean,
said-
either way you look at
man,
it,
great
we're at the
song.
tail end of that.
We are at the tail end of that, right? Well, about halfway, right? So what? So because we did, what was it? Argus, Grim, Aurora. So worst case scenario, we might have 2 more Paragon and then an original back here
Correct.
on the back end.
So it just put the layout of this thing that I'm looking at, right? The 5 that are left are Terra, Zinx, Boris, Yin, and Wukong, right? So if we just go in that order, we get Terra, Zinx, then the OG hero, and then we get Boris, Yin, Wukong, and then the rest are OGs from here on out.
We just get Yen. Like, what we gotta do?
I love how you left
Well, yeah,
Wukong for the end.
That's the way it is.
honestly-
I'm reading off of the picture that is there. That is how it's laid out. I did not do anything.
I will say, in any capacity, if he is anything like he was before, and he isn't just completely re-kitted, like, I would just rather not even see him in the game.
All right, calm down there, bud. Wukong wasn't bad. Okay.
He's in every
The
MOBA though.
balancing-
Like you got to
the
find a way to fit him in.
balancing of Paragon was bad.
Was
not
bad.
The
Was
hero.
very bad. Yeah.
Just replace Orb Prime and put a big giant Wukong there, and that's it. Wukong's in the game. You don't have to have him as a playable character.
Oh.
You can be an NPC.
Well, I'm gonna be that NPC because I'm gonna be with him in the pit, and I'm gonna tell
Somebody
people I'm
explain.
Wukong.
This man said we're gonna hold
Explain
hands.
what NPC means.
Oh, I know what an NPC is. I'm gonna be there though. To be there holding his hand. Where's our offlaner? Oh, he's
I
hanging
want to
out with
hold
Wukong.
your hand. All right. So yeah, if you guys didn't understand it, I'm not too impressed with the 8-hour only on the weekends, only on Saturday, not even a Sunday thing. Because this Sunday I actually have time Sunday to do something, but because the tournament's only it's only a Saturday tournament, but I don't have time to play on Saturday,
Saturday mode.
so I can't even make that work. So it sucks. For somebody who wants to play this game, who wants to, we do the show, the Predcast. I want to be able to put my opinions on how the game feels and how it's working and whatever. I can't even do that, like, because it's limited. It's such a limited window that I don't have the ability to do it. So that it's painful for a game that I love to play, and it's a shitty situation. But
Yeah.
on that note, I do understand where
I
it's
think
coming
take
from.
it both ways, man. I think just take it for the fact that it's
They're saving you from the
feel like
mayhem.
you're not super up there. Like maybe you're getting out of the meat grinder by not going in, day one. I think might be a savior,
I mean,
That's
I
true.
do agree with Beard is like they should just fully release it, but at the same time, I know why they're not because they're testing it. Because if you remember, I was one of the episodes before for Predcast. Ace was like, it's coming out in like mid 19, right? So they pushed it up. So technically, they gave it to us earlier than they were planning. So I think it's just for them testing. So I mean, they gave it to us earlier, so I'm okay with that. And hopefully they're able to release the full thing by version 19, like they promised. Put rank in.
No. So, yeah, it's a bummer. I do understand why they're doing it, right? We had this conversation last night on my stream. Can't Put Carter, our skeptical boy Baxter. We're having a good conversation, back and forth, and I understand. I get both sides, both people's arguments. I get it. Like I understand why a developing team, why they would do this and try to get the data off of it. I just don't think an 8-hour window is enough to get good data from. Like I don't think I don't think you're getting much out of that.
Well, I think the only thing that they're really going to measure is just how it's going to affect other queues without just fully releasing and be like, well, we kind of just killed brawl mode. Oops. So I think they're just trying to see the impact it'll have on it. Because actual data of MMR and stuff, they're going to get very, very little. Specifically when everybody's the same MMR. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's literally what it is. Like, what's going to happen to casual once ranked is out? What's going to happen to brawl once ranked is out? Because at this point, they already kind of see where people are fluctuating in what direction. But the moment there's 3 leveling, this whole balance act, it's like, what side is it going to be? Because here's the thing. Let me pose a hypothetical for y'all. Let's say those 8 hours. Let's say 80% of the population is in ranked, and now brawl queues are dead and casual queues are dead. Is that good for the game?
I don't think that would happen, right?
It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, like, so, and I guess the reason I would say that is just because, like, there are people who are going to play brawl. There are people who want to play the the standard mode casually, right? And then, I mean, it's been the issue we've had since Dawn Time. There are going to be people who want to play it to play ranked and actually win their games and like try to get better each and every game. I feel like you saying, hey, 8 hours, I'm finally tailoring, this to the people who've been doing that, right? Like, I think it would honestly make the casual games feel better for the people who want to play casually, right? Like, now you actually are in a space where it's like, oh, I'm not getting, I'm not having this pressure. I'm not getting yelled at by somebody or whatever. This person's not backing out or, because I don't even know why, right? Because I don't do that. But point is, like, I think it would help the queues kind of feel better for what you want out of your game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna really. You're gonna see some players switch over. Obviously, it's gonna thin out the herd of all 3 game modes. But I think it's gonna be like Wally's saying, it's gonna be more tailored to the actual like player base because there are those 3 separate people in the player base with only 2 game modes.
Right.
All right. So let's do this, guys. I know I missed a lot of the beginning of the episode. Sorry about that. I was on dad duty. But what we're going to try and do with Predcast episodes here moving forward, we're going to try and keep them a little bit more condensed. Try to steer away from this 2-3 hour kind of format that we had before. Keep it more closer to like hour and a half if possible. And then from there, we'll go ahead and try to give you guys just more frequent Predcast episodes at that point. So anything that we didn't cover on this week's episode, we're going to go ahead and try and cover in future episodes as we go through it. So if you guys specifically want to see the homies like Wally and Ritterific stop by more frequently, please, whether it be on the Twitch chat that we do live at the Bearded Wolverines Twitch channel, or whether it be on the YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, Wendy the Mace, that you can watch it after the fact. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat if you guys want to see these gents again. Leave a GG if you made it to the end. If you know, you know. I know a lot of people literally end up in the comments and like, why the fuck are people typing GG? I don't get it. And that's just because they don't watch it. But we're going to do our outros. What we're going to do here, let's do Ritterific, then Wally, then F6, then Bearded, then myself. Tell them a little bit about yourself, right? Let them know what you got going on, any cool projects, the hours you stream and stuff like that, like a little plug-in sort of time. And give a word of wisdom to the community as your ending team.
Ooh, well, Ritterific on Twitch. I actually just started the YouTube thing, which I'm not a bit editor, but I'm working on it for you guys. Washed up BFC 5 champ, you know, in search of the chance at PCC. That's really about it. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been great. I enjoy the cast. I enjoy watching every week. It's an honor to be a part of it.
When do you stream?
My stream schedule is going to change slightly with the new job. I start the new job Tuesday, but I'm going to try to give streams daily in the evenings from probably about 7 p.m. EST to like probably 10:30. And then on the weekends, we'll return to the same value, which would be Saturdays and Sundays. I'll give the 8 hours from about the noon to 8 p.m. area.
Congrats on the new job.
Thank you.
We're just going to be in my queues now. Let's go.
All right.
I wouldn't even invite you. Just saying.
You're going to naturally be in them now. That's when I play.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Good thing. Good thing.
Hey, bro, we're all gonna be in bronze at day one. We're okay.
You heard it. Do a queue for rank. You already heard it right there. Support off.
Hold them accountable.
But no, I'm Wally J. Wally J TV on YouTube and Twitch. You guys can definitely follow me there. Come vibe out. I like to be in the off lane, but I do play a little bit of everything. So that's it.
Alrighty.
F6. I stream at Creature Hours at like 6 in the morning on Twitch. We play Sudoku and crossword puzzles while we wait in queue for like 20 minutes, but still fun. Yeah, you can catch me casting Fang Booth. It's an EU tournament though, but doing some more casting this weekend on Sunday. If you guys want to watch, tune in. And then obviously PCC around the corner next month, so that's going to be fun. So stay tuned for a bunch of that stuff. Hopefully you see Ritterific in there so I can commentate on his gameplay, make fun of him on live. But yeah, other than that, yeah.
Right, F6, I'm gonna be real with you. That crossword puzzles and Sudoku while you wait is the most back in my day type of shit I've heard today, bro.
Hey,
Nah, that shit is fun.
I finally hit 30, dude. I'm old, man. I'm just doing old man things now. That's it.
Hey, bro, I'm about to join you in 2 weeks. No lie. So I feel that.
I'm way ahead of you boys.
Do you know how hard it is to type to F6 in chat to tell him, hey, this is the Sudoku go, hey, go 8 middle left, whatever. Like I'm trying to tell him where to put it, and he's like looking and he's like not reading chat, and then he's like looking. I'm like no, like how'd you? And I come back later. I'm like he still has to put the 8 there. Like that's where the 8 goes. I'm like what's going on?
Because my brain is slow, man. I can barely do the Sudoku, and then now you want me to read on top of it? I'm a Florida education, man. It's rough out here.
It's the low laner life. Am I right?
And I also love that his streamer hours are that early in the morning. For those of you who don't know, F6 is in Florida, so the nighttime is when the gators are out, and that's when he's able to go kind of do his swimming with the gators situation. That's why he can't stream at nighttime. He's only do the daytime streaming. All right. For myself, again, stream schedule is completely wacky with softball, what's going on, and the kids having their pumps. But next week, we already have next week's Predcast scheduled. It's going to be Wednesday, most likely, because the way the Tuesdays, Thursdays are rolling. So Wednesday, and we already have our guest. I normally don't give our guest out, but I want you all to know who the guest is so you can come back and hang out. All right. So our guest next week is our one and only Joey, yours truly, and we're gonna be talking ranked and how ranked feels and what's going on from there. All right. So Joey's gonna come here and flex on F6 again and show him why he's higher ranked in ranked mode, because he's gonna have more time, more games in, because F6 only plays in the morning time. So
sometimes I get Joey. Okay. Every once in a while.
So make sure you guys come hang out. Again, pay attention to our Twitter or X, whatever. You can see that for sure when we're going live. But yeah, it's gonna be Wednesday most likely, because Thursday is going to be a practice day for softball. So come hang out with that, and then pay attention to that same Twitter, T_B_Wolverine, for when I go live for just random games with Predecessor. But other than that, that's all I got for you this week, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week about Ranked.
Spicy. And again, guys, I'm Windu, also known as Windu the Mace. And as far as what I got going on, I'll be real with you guys. I've just been working so hardcore, trying to start my own business, sort of deal, right? So, right, bro. We don't give out loans on year one, you know what I mean? I've been trying to stream here and there. I've been trying to get back into it. More than anything, I just want to get more consistent YouTube videos out. So definitely going to try and separate some time to allocate that. So be on the lookout for that. In itself, though, little piece of advice for everybody in the community, especially with the casual MMR reset, and you know, when rank goes in, we're gonna have a mix of players, all the same rank sort of deal. Just be understanding and carry harder. That's all I can say. Don't blame them. Blame yourself. Shout out to Wally for yelling that shit at me for like the past 10. And this is while he's in my. That's why he's in my team. While he's in my team, in the queue, in the game, he's like, Wendy, you got to carry harder. He could have carried harder too, but he. It's a good point as far as just the mentality that you need to have. It's like, hey, quite frankly, if the game didn't go your way, there's always something that you could do better, right? And who knows, maybe you drew a little bit more aggro. You might have actually gave your solo laner a little bit of time to breathe from the jungler, because now the jungler's focused on you. So that now it's your job to not int because you drew the aggro. All I'm saying, little self-reflection goes a long way, and be kind on these mixed queues that we're gonna have the first couple days. But again, much love, homies. We appreciate all of you hanging out. Again, if you didn't hear it before, tap a GG if you made it this far. But we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace. Now I'm gonna need the aggro like red shield, so I know like Army of Two if I have the aggro or not.
Army of Two was the bomb.
Damn, I forgot to give him